Good morning, Port Harcourt. I remain your host for Focus on Port Harcourt, brought to you by Artiste Television, your favorite YouTube channel. So today we'll be talking about three major artists who has put Port Harcourt on the map at the moment. Three of them. We have a lot of artists that have put Port Harcourt, out there, and they've done, a lot of good work. But today we're talking about three major artists who at the moment are keeping Port Harcourt out there, and they are proud to say they are from Port Harcourt. These three major artists are people who are originally Port Harcourt people, like they are from River State. You can't, there is no how you want to twist it so that we don't let other states claim them. These are our products, these are people who were, who everything about them is Port Harcourt, and they are proud in their music, their career, everything you hear them say Port Harcourt. If you want to book them, you have to book them like 3 months ahead, 4 months ahead. If you want to do collabo with them and you're not very big, my dear, it will take a long time. No jokes. I know what I'm saying. Like you want to do a collabo with, any of these three, particularly the number 1 and number 2, man, you have to book them ahead of time. If you want to book them for any gig, like event, for shows or something, you also have to book them ahead of time because their schedule is very busy. These guys are busy, they're making a lot of money for themselves and they're making their family proud. Their social media accounts though, the number of followers they have, that counts though, but you can check, the number of hit songs they've dropped and how fast it has sold. Their stream, their downloads and all that. Thank God for today. We have Apple music platform, we have Spotify and all that. So these are, quick for you to see. You can just see and say, okay, this has got so amount of downloads, so amount of stream. On YouTube, you can see how many views and all that. And these things are money, if you know what I mean. Ajebo hustlers. So Ajabo hustlers, like they are, 2 friends, like I said, who came together. One of them is Isaiah Precious, better known, as Pigo, and the other one, also a Port Harcourt, full-time Port Harcourt boy, George, Dandison, known as Knowledge. Knowledge at the time was very big in Port Harcourt. Knowledge was very big. Yeah, I remember Knowledge very well. In mid 2000, Knowledge was already dropping songs and was big, was very entertaining. For every young man or young girl, young woman that loves music, to tell you yes, Knowledge at the time was big in Port Harcourt. So Ajabo Hustlers, they've been together, grinding together, working together, and everything. So in 2022, Ajabo Hustlers were nominated, for the Headies Awards, for Songwriter of the Year, and they won the Best of Sound City MVP Awards, in 2023. So Ajabo Hustlers, they've been there and they've worked very hard, Basically, Ajabo Hustlers, they met, in a restaurant somewhere in OGRA, like where we have Focus on Port Harcourt office in OGRA, So they met somewhere around OGRA, in a restaurant where the both of them worked, as waiters. They became a group, officially in 2015, following the release of their, song Bole and Fish. Bole and Fish. I'm sure you must have heard that song. Bole and Fish was very viral, and if you know Port Harcourt, like I always say, Port Harcourt is known for Bole and Fish. So they came together, having worked in a restaurant, they met each other, dropped a couple of songs individually, and saw that whenever they do collabo, it goes viral. There's a trend, on their collabo. So they decided to work together. So officially, they started working together, and they started making music together, from OGRA in Port Harcourt where they met and started doing things together. I think they were doing their things separately and they saw that each time they drop music together, like there's a collabo, they see that the music goes viral and is big. So I think somehow they say to themselves, hey, if we can be doing, songs together, each time we do songs together, they go very big. Why not come together and see what the future holds for us? And I think that was how they came together, and started working, on songs. From Port Harcourt, they started doing things until they relocated to Lagos. So their kind of music, of course, is high life and Afrobeat. They are originally high life, Afrobeat singers. I think from the both of them, from Figo and from Knowledge, the both of them have, a combination of high life and Afrobeat. So that's for Adebo Hustlers. These are full-time Port Harcourt boys, and we are proud of them. Kudos to them. Thank you for making Port Harcourt proud. Thank you for keeping Port Harcourt and putting Port Harcourt on the map. God bless you. Stanley Oma Didia. I'm sure you know that name. Oma. Omale. Omale. Omale is our own. So Omale is a full-time Port Harcourt boy from Egbeda in Rivers State. Omale way back started his career in Port Harcourt, but professionally he became what he is today when he relocated to Lagos. Omale is a Nigerian artist, of course, He's a songwriter. He's also a producer. He got his recognition sometime in 2020. During that COVID period, Omale was just busy working. He's on his on studio. Trying to put up beats, voice, and all that. And I mean, if you remember that COVID period, 2020, people were home. A lot of persons were home. They weren't going out. People weren't going out. Like people were home morning to night. They could just stroll out, within their environment, but people weren't going out. So people were busy looking for what to listen to, what to watch, and all that. And trust me, that period, God picked Omale and made him what he is. However, Omale is from Egbeda. He's from River State. Omale, has been in this music thing for so many years. But in 2020, God remembered him and he is what he is today. So today, if you want to book Omale range from, if I'm not mistaken, Omale range from $35,000 to about $50,000 or more if you want to book Omale. And you have to book him ahead of time. Like I said, for artists who wants to do collabo, particularly if you're not an A-list artist, it's going to take you some time to get Omale to sit with you or to record with you. Even if you want him to record, and send you his own, demo for you to do yours and all that, it still will take you time. Not just time, it will take a lot of money. So we have Omale. Omale, has dropped a lot of singles. He has done a lot of work and all that. But in recent time, one, song that, prompts people to, begin to listen to Omale, want to know him and want to know who he is, was when he dropped his first single. So in 2020, I think about early 2020, when Omale dropped Bad Influence, he self-recorded that song, self-produced that song, and Bad Influence was like, wow, it went viral. And that made Omale, to become, the artist he is today. For every artist, one song must announce you, to the public. For Duncan Mighty, I think it was Akonuche. For Burna Boy, it was American Girls Love to Party or Love to Party. For Timaya, it was Ogologo Maya. So for every artist, you need a song that will announce you to the public. And once you announce, the rest of it is just for you to work. Keep working, and people, you start building your fans, and who will just dance and vibe, to your sound, to your music, and they begin to love you, and you begin to gain followers, gain recognitions, and shows begin to come endorsement. From right now, where we have a lot of digital platforms that you can monetize, your creativity, your songs, and everything, you start making money all over. So that's how it works. So Bad Influence was that one song that brought Omale and made him what he is. So Omale was born May 1997. Omale is a young boy though. Omale is a very, very young kid, man. He was born on May 19th, 1999, and you know, every other thing was grinding, every other thing was. How far Omale has a little of music background. I think his grandfather used to be an instrumentalist, or something. So I think that blood, that thing somehow was in him, you know. So Omale dropped a lot of songs, recently Reason, and a whole lot of songs you can think of, that made Omale what he is. So for Omale has put Port Harcourt on the map. Omale has said everywhere, you see on this video where he's tattooing himself, and he's getting a tattoo, and he talks about Port Harcourt, his love for Port Harcourt.
It's a beautiful city too, a lot of talent, and Port Harcourt, everything is raw, and I'm raw. You can tell I'm raw. The talents are raw.
He's quick to say this is where he's from, and I think I like that about him. So kudos to you, Omale. We love you. We continue to support you. God bless you. So Omale got signed to a record label. The record label that is pushing Omale right now. He got signed to the record label in June 19, 2019. It was after they signed him. He started working, he started putting things together, putting his sound, putting his music together. But before then, Omale had dropped some songs that weren't that big, Do Not Disturb, Hello Brother, before, he was signed to his record label, and, he released Bad Influence, and Bad Influence, became successful, and every other song followed. So basically, we're saying to you, for those who doesn't know, that Omale is a pure Port Harcourt boy from Ebeda. Ebeda is in the Korea local government. So Omale, in recent time, has made Port Harcourt proud. He's one man, who has, held to his dream, to his career. And if you see him, very simple, dude, And his official DJ too is a Port Harcourt boy, DJ Billionaire. Kudos to you, DJ Billionaire. My way back man. Billionaire used to work with Radio Port Harcourt, now with FM. DJ Jonah, is another, big DJ out there, but he's officially, the DJ, attached to, or DJ who works with Omale. So if you see Omale anywhere in London, in America, trust me, you must see DJ Jonah, because every artist has a DJ that understands him, so that you know what song to play, when to hold on and everything. So that's how it works. So kudos to you, DJ Jonah, and kudos to you, Omale. Our next will be number one. The big fish himself is Burna Boy. Bamini Ogulu, better known as Burna Boy. Burna Boy is one man who I remember back then when I was with Julius Agun, when we were working together for Crack Your Hips and everything. Burna Boy then, did he had released a song, Wabolobo, I think a remix of, an old jam we used to know. And then, the mom would come around, once. I think the mom had always seen far. The mom had always seen, great potential in his son. So she was everywhere. She wanted, Burna Boy to be featured. She wanted Burna Boy on Crack Your Lips. At that time, at the time of Crack Your Lips, way back, Crack Your Lips still on, by the way. But at that time, in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, thereabout, Crack Your Lips was very big. We had a very few artists who, were doing, live shows, apart from Night of a Thousand Laughs, the other was Crack Your Lips. So if you were opportuned or privileged to be on Crack Your Lips platform, trust me, it makes it's going to pave serious way for you, if you know what I mean. As at that time, Julius Avenue was very big. He was master of craft and everything. So I remember then Burna Boy, would perform and everything and would write his song and everything. And I also remember when I was that was in 2017, when I was part of Campari Dia to Mix, and in fact, that show was on me because I was the man on ground in Port Harcourt, to put things together. We had two faces on that show. We had DJ Jimmy Jazz, we had Duncan Mighty, we had Harry Song, we had Kelly Handsome, Arinze Baba, Apororo, and so on and so forth. And I remember introducing weeks after, I remember introducing Burna Boy's mom to the brand manager of Campari, then, and she was very pleased to meet him, and all that. So Burna Boy is one young artist who has always known, what he wants. He has always known, what his expectations are, and he did not give up on his dreams, even when it looked as if things weren't going the way he wanted and everything. But Burna Boy had always believed himself. As of today, I want us to know that Burna Boy is from Ahoda. Just Ahoda here, oh. Ahoda, our own Ahoda. The same place, the same Ahoda, Ahoda, we have Ahoda East and Ahoda West, right? Right now, Burna Boy does not do any show that doesn't contain stadiums. Not just event halls. Burna Boy is way grown past event halls right now. I'm not kidding you. Burna Boy is big. So Burna Boy, of course, is for me officially like someone who went out there and got it for himself. I think Burna Boy, for me, I would consider him, the first young generation act that won Grammy for himself. So this is not on feature. It's not on by association. It's for his hard work. And River State government, then River State Governor, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, Chief Nyesom Wike, had a welcome home party for him. And in course of that welcome home party, young artists were gifted 10 million each in Naira, to support their craft and all that. And I think that was about the first time, artists from Port Harcourt to be having that kind of money. A lot of artists in Port Harcourt, sorry, I mean no disrespect, haven't seen that kind of money yet. A lot of upcoming artists, I don't mean, the big artists, like upcoming artists who are still trying to find their feet, So Governor Nyesom Wike gifted them 10 million. And I think that would have helped a lot of them, comedians, musicians, and all that. For everybody who was on that stage, was gifted 10 million naira each. On that stage, we had legends like Duncan Mighty, we had Timaya, who came to grace the occasion, who came to support, the occasion, and to, say, okay, this guy, you've made all of us proud by going out there to get this award. So Burna Boy, was gifted a land and a land in Ojare. By the way, if you know Ojare is almost like the most expensive place, in Port Harcourt. Is a reserved place, for the who is who. This is almost like our own banana island. Ojare is like the banana island, of Lagos State. So Burna Boy was gifted a landed property there, and I'm sure I remember the governor saying they were going to build for him or something. However, Burna Boy was very well received, and I mean his visit or his homecoming to Port Harcourt after the Grammy was a blessing to a lot of artists who, for the first time, were gifted 10 million each. So kudos to Burna Boy, kudos for making Port Harcourt proud, kudos for putting Port Harcourt on the map. Burna Boy will always tell you I'm from Port Harcourt. You remember his song Last Last? Say, are they Port Harcourt when they kill? Are you sorry? And all that. So Burna Boy, kudos to you. Basically he was saying that he was in Port Harcourt when they killed Soboma, that he was out there to buy a vehicle. And if you know that area in Port Harcourt, you have people, selling vehicles, left and right. It's a busy place. So he said in that song that he had gone to buy Corolla, when the news of the death of Soboma broke out. So about Soboma is a story for another day that we get to tell you, if necessary. So Burna Boy, we're happy for you. We're happy you're touring the world. We're happy you're making Port Harcourt proud. You're making your immediate family proud. You're making your mom and your dad, your siblings, you're making them proud. And we're proud. We're happy for you. God bless you. We continue to wish you success. So these are the major arts who are making Port Harcourt proud at the moment. All these artists are from Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, and the world. I'm your host, Omodo Jacques Swallow, on Focus on Port Harcourt. Brought to you by Garden City Television, your favorite YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, comment, and please share. Don't forget to turn on the notification button. I remain Omodo Jacques Swallow, your host for Focus on Port Harcourt, brought to you by Garden City Television. Thank you very much and God bless. So on our next video, we'll be talking about 3 major former governors of Rivers State, what they have done for the state, what they were able to achieve, their accomplishments, as governors, what they were before they became governor. This is relatively to, inspire you, that young man, that young woman out there, so that you know that these people are coming from somewhere. They didn't become, former governor, former this, former that, or president, whatever they are, by chance. They worked hard for it. So stay tuned, turn on the notification button, subscribe to Garden City Television, so that you get to know from us on Focus on Port Harcourt the top 3 former governors of Rivers State who built, Rivers State, and who has, taken Rivers State to where we are today. Trust me, you love it. They are all great people. We love them, we cherish them. But it won't be enough if we don't bring them to the public to say that Port Harcourt appreciate them. 3 former governors from Rivers State, former governors of Rivers State, who has built Rivers State, who has made Rivers State proud. These 3 governors, I'm sure you want to know them. God bless you. See you on our next show, Focus on Port Harcourt, brought to you by Garden City Television, your favorite YouTube channel. Your host is Omodo Jacques Swallow, my humble self. Thank you. See you on our next video. God bless you.